Hello, everyone. Welcome to the studio, and thank you for joining me. My name is Andrew Camlin, and as always, I appreciate you being here. It has been a pretty interesting couple days for music projects, and there's going to be a lot of talk about what's been going on. But basically, I just released another studio series video with Gal Caffrey, an acoustic version of Gemini Man, and we had a really great time working on that. And Gal is a really great guy. He just moved to Nashville from Israel. He's a songwriter, singer. He plays guitar, and one of the things that I look forward to the most being here in Nashville was the opportunity to work with other artists and to work on not just new stuff, but new versions of previously released songs. So check that out. It's live on YouTube right now in the studio series playlist that includes Await the Sirens, Love Is Enough, Heart of Town, and now Gemini Man Acoustic, which came out really, really great. We tried to keep it simple. It's an acoustic version of the song, and I have to give Gall a lot of credit for coming in and really being great to work with, and just kind of allowing me to be emotional, be in the moment, and to really sing my song in a way that I feel made the most sense for that version of it. It's something that I've wanted to do for quite some time, for Gemini Man specifically, kind of pare it down, get back to my roots a little bit, and do an acoustic version. So I would love for you guys to see this video. Not only is it something that I've wanted to do for quite some time, but one thing that has been so incredibly enjoyable in recent days has been the opportunity to really showcase and highlight this little treehouse of a studio that we enjoy here in Nashville, and the opportunity to get artists in here to do more projects like this is something that I would really enjoy doing with other people here in the local scene. So that was a nice little treat this week. I just finished the edit on the video, just released it, and feeling good about that one. So I'm toying with the idea of whether or not I should advertise these videos, or maybe change my strategy a little bit. If you've been paying attention recently to the podcast, the last episode of the podcast was for some reason flagged by YouTube as being shocking and containing shocking content, which I still am trying to wrap my head around. And I do want, of course, my material to be viewed, and I don't want it being hindered at all by these channels, and for reasons that seem to be unknown to me. Anyway, so yeah, check that out. The studio series is something that has been an occasional thing that I do, and I try to highlight my performance style, and hopefully what it shows at this point is just a wide range of different performance styles, from fully electronic to acoustic. So that's something I enjoy doing, and as I mentioned before, I believe on a previous episode, I just realized I'm holding this backwards. As I mentioned on a previous episode, I do have a version of What Goes Around by Justin Timberlake that is still, I've been a little busy with other things, as we'll discuss, but is still kind of in the works. Working with Dimitri on a song called Stargazer. I have another song called Scarlet Letter. All of these are kind of very close to being done, and as my schedule allows, I'll definitely get these out there. So I look forward to that. And of course, there's a really cool update that I have to share, which is that Sony Pro Audio stopped by the studio yesterday, and that was something that came from my collaboration with Tom Kari. So what you all should know is that the EP Tom Kari's EP, which featured the single 5 a.m. that he and I co-wrote together, was recorded using this immersive technology from Sony. And it is absolutely incredible. And shout out to Douglas Battle, who came to the studio yesterday to demo this technology for me. And I'll try to get into it and explain it for you. But it is absolutely game changing for music production and your ability to record in a spatial way as opposed to just stereo or mono. It's incredibly immersive. It was an absolutely amazing experience getting to witness it in real time. And I posted a little video yesterday, with my reaction, and it was really, really, truly amazing to experience. So thank you to Douglas, thank you to Tom Kari for introducing me to Ross and the rest of the team at Sony, for you guys to come through and to make me feel like a part of it. I really appreciate it. There are definitely some larger conversations to be had with that team about, Tunes and Brews, TMB Entertainment, about the Writers Retreat in Topanga, California, how I could be involved or how I could help basically shine a light on the material that gets written in Topanga. One of the I guess complaints that I hear from Sony is that we do this event, the songs are written, it's a great exercise for all of the artists that attend, and then a lot of the material that gets worked on never sees the light of day. And I think in some ways what we do at TMB Entertainment, Mzungu, aka Casey, and myself, who just started this collective, one thing that we do is we want to feature artists with material that is new, that is refreshing. And I believe that one area where Sony would like to, grow is in their ability to create these events that reach the fans and highlight their brand, their technology, but also the artists and their songs, and present them in a way where their fans can actually enjoy new material that was created in this setting. So yes, definitely an interesting area where we can throw some ideas around and figure out a way to work together. And it's all very exciting. It's all very new. It's all very cool. And it's just one of those things when you stay active musically, when you collaborate with other artists, when you release music together, these are the types of conversations that can happen. And I just couldn't be happier that Sony has taken an interest in my studio and in my music, and that they're willing to, shake hands and just kind of keep the door open when it comes to collaborations and more projects together. So once again, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Sony Pro Audio. Thank you guys so much for giving me a taste of what you guys have to offer, because it's truly revolutionary. Spatial audio is the future. There's particular technology is called VME, and essentially, I'll try to explain it, but essentially what it does is, it runs a diagnostic of your studio. It kind of captures the character of the room. And for anyone who records music, one thing that you notice right away is when you listen to your music in studio monitors, speakers, versus putting on a pair of headphones, it's an immediately different experience. And frankly, it's not always that helpful to switch between the two, because you're getting two very different signals, and for your mixing, it can get a little confusing. And I think what VME does, what Sony's technology does, is if you were to listen to the way your music sounds in this studio and then put the headphones on, nothing changes. It's an exact emulation of the space. And it allows you to, so in other words, if the speakers are in front of you and you put the headphones on, it still sounds like you're listening to a pair of speakers that are in front of you, so much so that it's indistinguishable with the headphones on. And, this is something that, I could sit here and explain to you, but when you experience it in real time, it is absolutely and truly wonderful. It's amazing, and shout out to everyone involved at Sony for developing this technology, because it is the future of home production or studio production. It was made clear to me that it really is more useful for the larger premier studio spaces like Abbey Road and some of the ones here in town that, for when people are on tour and whatnot, and they can't have access to their studio and they have deadlines and they need to know how things sound in the room, then it really comes in handy. So it's a really revolutionary thing, and I'm not the only one who was blown away by it. I mean, there are demonstrations done all over New York and L.A. and Nashville and anywhere else where music is paramount, and they are blowing minds every single time they do this. So it's very, very cool. And shout out once again, thank you guys. I'm so grateful to be making connections like this. Music is very much a pursuit that I take seriously, and I just can't. You need these types of openings, and you need to shake hands with people and meet people and see what their area of expertise is, and how you can sort of align with that creatively. So it's just wonderful. What can I say? That was a tremendous moment for me, and I just was blown away. So now that that's out of the way, I can talk a little bit more about some other upcoming projects, mainly that I have two show dates, and the first being back in New York City, of course, which is some 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 type of I don't know if I'm addicted to it, but I love going home. I have to say, I love going back to New York. I love seeing Casey and all of my other friends, and I've really enjoyed the privilege of these sort of quarterly trips, every so often, to be able to perform back home is just a delight, and I'm very, very excited to be back at the Delancey. Friday, August 20th. It's actually my brother's birthday. Simon, if you're watching, happy birthday. And to celebrate, I'll be back. I'll be back at 7 p.m. playing at the Delancey, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a full Andrew Camlin show. It's good. There's going to be some new tracks as always that I'll be introducing, and I'm hoping to have some of the singles finished by then, so I can release some of those songs that I have in production at the moment. So there's a lot to do in preparation for this, and that's why I'm trying to get through it all mentally, and it's a lot. It's a lot. When you're passionate like I am, and you're hardworking like I am, and you have tunnel vision, and you want to get out there and play for people. That's something that you can't not do for very long. When I go too long without playing a show, well, what the hell? I mean, there's nothing better for me creatively than to get on stage. And the Delancey I've played a handful of times, and I'm glad to be back. I'm glad they asked me to come back, and so August 20th, as soon as I get a ticket link, I will let you know, and come check it out, please. If I haven't seen you in a while, if you're a new fan, if you've discovered my channel as of recently, if you haven't seen my show, I highly encourage you to come out. Please follow along, subscribe, and all that good stuff. August 20th, it's a Friday, 7 p.m. It's going to be fantastic. I must be talking fast because I'm thirsty, which leads me to my next point, which is that the next day is our TMB Entertainment Showcase. We are back at the local. Myself, Umzungu, we've got Chocolate Brown, we've got Sagami, and we've got Self Perpetual. These are acts that have been rock solid for us. We're super excited to have them all back. We love these guys. They put on a hell of a show every single time. I'm excited to join them. I will be joining them on stage as well. So There's five of us that are going to be playing for you guys. We've got local vendors coming back. We've got WNYC. Is it WNYC? No, 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 no. Hold on. Excuse me. We've got vendors. That's the point. We've got people that are going to be selling jewelry. We've got a friend of mine from Powerhouse Arts, Hallie, who's going to be selling some t-shirts and hoodies. So come out, hang out. This is really, honestly, guys, one of the best venues in Queens. It has to be. They do shows on the rooftop. They have amazing drinks. The vibe is right. The furniture is comfortable. The sound's great. And, we love going to the local. And it's in Long Island City. It's one of the coolest neighborhoods in the entire city. You will have a blast. If you come to this show, which you absolutely should, it's going to be a blast. And it's our show. It's a T&B Entertainment show. We're really stoked to be putting it together. That's going to start at around 6:30 and go till around 11 o'clock. So make sure you get there early, get a beer, get something to eat, hang out, say hello to your friends, and we will get the show started right after that, man. And it's going to be great. It's always a pleasure to work with that venue. We're going to be doing some media in preparation for that. We're going to try to grow the T&B brand a little bit. We want to kind of have this be our coming out party to an extent, and interview all of our artists and get the word out about them. And, shine a light on this community that we've been in the process of building for, a little over a year now, since we first started to sit down and talk about, how we can create this community and really cultivate this style of showcase, which is our bread and butter. And so we're really excited for this. I can't wait to get there. I'll be there from August 15th to the 23rd. So if you're in town and you're looking to network, if you're in need of event services, if you're looking for talent, if you would like to be on the podcast, if you would like to work in the studio, please let me know. Send me a message, contact me. I'm very big on community, and I'm very big on making these very real touch points in my life. So if there is something that you want to do, and you are a creative person, an entrepreneurial person, and you're in the New York City area, if you're in the 5 boroughs, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I think it's very important to always leave the door open for people to express themselves, to work on projects, to network, to make friends, right? To build relationships. It is absolutely vital in the world that we're living in today to be open to those types of connections, to try to cultivate and create an inviting atmosphere that, it is always a conversation, right? We're living up to our promise of being open and being open to collaboration. And so, yeah, I'll be taking meetings and meeting up with old friends. And yeah, if you have something that in mind to work on musically, or if you have something else that you want to talk to me about, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm 100% open to your ideas. And yeah, it's going to be great, guys. New York is obviously very special to me. With that said, here in Nashville, I just mentioned that I did the Gemini Man video for my YouTube channel. Please check that out with Gal Caffrey. And he will be playing a Lighthouse series event through Creative Pulse Nashville. That's this Friday. Tickets are limited. Creative Pulse is one of the best songwriter focused rounds that is going on in Nashville today. I think Angie does a great job. She's one of the co-founders of Creative Pulse and has really created this community and made it very comfortable for artists to get in the room together and express themselves, share ideas, tell stories in a very unplugged and intimate way. It's been really, really cool. So that's this Friday in Nashville, Creative Pulse Lighthouse Series. Gal will be performing there along with 2 other artists. If you haven't gotten tickets, make sure you do that. And then lastly, I had a great experience as well. A few weekends ago, I met some DJs while I was hanging out East Nashville, and I have to give a shout out to Riot Ranch, which is one of the DJ collectives here in Nashville. As you guys know, DJing is something that I've been very determined to learn. It's sort of the next step for me in my one man show, as far as the style of performance, and using a mixer and dealing with effects, trying to create a mix, right? Like I did in my set in Brooklyn. I'm sorry, in my set in Harlem, where I created an hour-long mix, and that's what DJs do. So I think learning how to DJ, it's such a great opportunity. It's something I'm very passionate about. I got the invitation to come out to Night We Met, which is one of the biggest EDM venues in Nashville, to come check out this Riot Ranch showcase, and I have never felt more at home. And I say this not to sound dramatic, and it's not hyperbole. When you feel like you have found your people, when you feel like you've found your tribe, I really think I really think it's something that it strikes you right away, and you have such a good feeling about it. But shout out to Riot Ranch, shout out to Serena, who invited me, and all the other DJs that performed that night. The mixes that I heard that night were some of the most original and fun and dynamic DJ sets that I think I've ever heard. It was a really cool moment, and just having those opportunities and those conversations, talking about co-writing, talking about production. What tools are you using? What plugins are you using? We should get in the studio together. We should write together. We should produce together. We should be doing house tracks together. Man, it was cool. I have to say, I mean, the electronic music space is obviously something I'm very passionate about. The ability to not be limited as an artist, to only be a songwriter, to only be a producer, or to only be a DJ, but to be able to go back and forth and to be able to cover all those bases. I mean, if I hadn't put in the work the last 6 to 7 years, from Juilliard forward, to learn how to produce, to learn how to make music in all these different ways, this all wouldn't be possible. But I feel like I'm starting to become a very versatile artist. If it's something that's unplugged, I can do it. If it's something that's completely electronic, I can also do it. So there's so much to be said for putting in the work, even if you're not getting the praise for it. There's so much to be said for just putting your head down and learning the craft, and not waiting on other people, and not trying to say that you're this undiscovered talent that somebody else needs to notice and take you with them to fame and fortune. That's not really the way it works. The more skilled you are, the more versatile you are, the better off you're going to be. And why not be versatile in today's world? We live in 2026, and the term generalist kind of pisses me off. I think we're in 2026. If you're a jack of all trades, they call you a generalist. If we were living in a different time years ago, they'd call you a Renaissance man. The ability to do all of these different things, right, would make you valuable, would make you appealing, would make you a suitor, right? And these days it really doesn't. There's this feeling that either you have this laser focus and you dedicate your entire life to this one thing, and you kind of climb the ladder, and it's this very black and white sort of lifestyle. Or people like me, who maybe have all of these different passions and all of these different visions for their life, are of lesser value. I don't subscribe to that at all. I think that's absolute garbage. And I'm here to tell you that there will be opportunities for the people that pursue being versatile, that pursue versatility, as long as they're willing to work hard. Because if you're willing to work hard, and you're able to be versatile, and you're open to being versatile, I believe the sky's the limit. And I know that the odds are against me, and I know that the economy these days is again, it's hard to get consistent opportunities, let alone succeed. And that I have continued to bet on myself. And that if you bet on yourself, there's always a chance that you can lose. I'm very honest with myself about that. Just because I'm I believe I'm good doesn't mean anyone owes me anything. It doesn't mean that I'm owed a career in music. That's not what that means. What it means is this is what I believe I was put here to do. And it's not just about belief, it's about work. It's about whether or not you're willing to put in the work to accomplish that dream. And you guys know me well enough to know that I am going to put in the work. It's going to happen. I'm going to send the email. I'm going to make the phone calls, even if people don't follow up with me. Gone are the days of 24-hour follow-ups. Getting a follow-up from people these days, it might happen, it might not happen. But I think that a level of professionalism has really gone by the wayside. And the fact that the majority of us are working from home and feel like we can hide behind our computers has made us less respectful of other people's time. If you feel like you can not send a follow-up because you're never going to have to see or deal with this person again, you're not going to send the follow-up. And, work culture has changed. The world has changed, and you have to adapt. And which is why I've adopted this entrepreneurial spirit. I want to get TMB Entertainment off the ground. I would love for Sony to get involved. I would love for, other venues to get involved. And I've continued to pursue that because I believe that I have an angle when it comes to music, when it comes to community, when it comes to the involvement of venues and organizations, how we can all help each other. I've talked about the intention of advertising and how it's changed. And I've talked about how I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just making advertising genuine, and which is what it's supposed to be, talking about art and products that you really believe in because you really believe in them, not because you're being made to believe in them, not because it's the most popular product and everyone's doing it, right? And everyone's buying it and you have to buy in too because you have FOMO and you don't want to get left behind and you want to be one of the cool kids. Well, I don't think it's important to be one of the cool kids. I think what's really important is that you really follow your passions. I think what's really important is that you don't give up. I think what's really important is that you don't quit on yourself and you don't quit on other people. I think that's important. I think it's very easy in today's world for us to quit on one another. I think it's just too easy. Someone says something you didn't like. Someone posts something you didn't like. You block them, you delete them, you remove them. And how is this leaving room for change? How is this leaving room for nuanced conversation? How is this helping us reach compromises and reach conclusions that we can both agree on, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I just feel like, I have never been the type of person, no matter what, whether it's a personal disagreement, a breakup, getting let go from a position at work or, something like that, to ever close the door in people's faces, even if they've been cruel to me, and I think that level of respect hasn't always been given, to me in my direction. I'm a very optimistic guy. I know I'm not perfect, but I've always been very, very open with people. And I think that one of the sticking points, one of the frustrations that I see right now is that, oh, well, this, I don't like this. I'm done with this person. Well, that's not always helpful for either party, right? So I think that I'm keeping the door open. I'm very, very excited to, explore where all of these possibilities go. And, hopefully something really cool will happen, and when I get to New York, I can assure you that there's not a day that's going to be wasted. There's not a single day that's going to be wasted because every day counts. When you're an entrepreneurial spirit and you're trying to build something that no one else is building, you really can't afford to take a day off. And people can laugh at you, they can question you, they can doubt you. It's all right. What matters most is that you keep going, that you continue, that you don't stop, that you continue to build. And you're going to have dark days and you're going to have low moments and you're going to have people who walk away because they don't believe in you. But that's okay. Let them go, because what matters most is that you're staying true to yourself. What matters most is that you're not allowing the world to beat you. You're not laying down and giving up. And I respect anyone who exhausts all possibilities before you throw in the towel. And I've seen people throw in the towel prematurely, and I've been on the receiving end of that as well. And I just think that you have to figure out a way to fortify your mind. You have to figure out a way to have a level of resolve that is going to get you through those moments. And I know it's hard. I've been there, trust me. But I want to thank you all, my audience, for listening, because this is a community. This channel is a community, and you all are for the ride with me. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak directly to you. And it's going to be a busy month, as it always is. But again, it feels good to have some shows on the calendar. It feels good to have some songs that are close to being done. It feels good to put some videos out there on my YouTube channel. I've been active on Instagram. It feels great to get this level of engagement. So please continue to stop by. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me, and I look forward to seeing you out there on the road. I'm going to get going. As always, I've been Andrew Canlin. I just want to say, don't be afraid to be yourself. Believe in what you're doing, and all will be well. You will get through the darker times. I will get through the darker times, and we'll stick together. It's too easy to leave each other behind. Thank you for rocking with me. I will rock with you all day long. Let's go. I'll see you guys next time.